Here's my newly procured Galaxy stationary table fan sold under the Sears brand. It was possibly manufactured in the early to mid 80s. And it's gonna be the pinnacle of this video because it's definitely a souvenir, because this is identical to the fan that I had in my bedroom as a kid. Go ahead and show you around it. Here's the motor. You can see the Sears logo. Now, I know of another fan collector on YouTube that's acquired a fan similar to this from eBay. Looked identical, but his fan differed because his fan only had one speed, and this fan has two speeds. I think this right here was a rare model. Because as a kid, I only saw a few other fans, just like this. But let me go ahead and tell you a background story. I always had a fascination for fans, and we moved to Tennessee in 1983, and about that following summer, we took me, my dad, and my sister shopped at a Cleveland mall, and I think it was, manifest to Dad that I liked fans, and I guess he kind of wanted us to, have a fan for our bedroom. So we were at Sears, and we were at the fan aisle, and there was another fan like this one, except for it was an oscillating fan. Same identical grill, same identical blade, but it was an oscillating fan. And then there was this fan. Well, a fan identical to this, stationary, with its U-shaped traverse. So we ended up giving in, and we ended up buying the oscillating fan, and we also ended up buying this one. And my mom and dad had a bedroom upstairs where all the heat congested, so I think Mom and Dad were wanting a fan for their bedroom as well, so they ended up using this fan for their bedroom upstairs, and then they let me have the oscillating, fan in my bedroom, which I enjoyed using. A few years went on, and still use that oscillating fan, but then things kind of got arrayed, and I guess that Mom and Dad wanted all of us kids to have a fan for our bedroom, and so Mom picked up another fan from, I don't know, I guess Walmart or wherever, and used their new oscillating fan for their bedroom, and then things got totally flip-flopped around, and then I ended up, then the stationary fan ended up in my bedroom, and I took right off to using the stationary U-traversed fan all the time. And I tell you, I mean, I would exceed the fan's threshold. We had, a decent air conditioning from our Friedrich Central unit, but I still wanted to use a fan all the time, and I kept the fan in high speed a lot. And I was like fascinated with watching the blade spin, the fan's airflow, which, I mean, it's a powerful fan, and also the wagon wheel effect from my bedroom lights, since the wagon wheel, the light enhance, the fan to do a wagon wheel effect, like it was spinning backwards. I was just fascinated with the fan altogether, and it stimulated my obsessions, and I kept it on high speed all the time. And Dad would come in my bedroom and say, "Hey, Sam, you're gonna wear this fan out. Why do you keep it going all the time?" I mean, my dad would scorn me and say, "Hey, can't leave this fan on high all the time, you're gonna wear it out." And then the fan over time got to where it started seizing up. It would take a few minutes to get up to speed, and it would make these creaking noises and all that. The fan got harder and harder for me to run. And I disassembled the fan and had that fan totally dismantled in my bedroom, working on it. And Mom, got kind of frantic seeing the fan all dismantled, and I thought, well, maybe if I just cleaned it out. I didn't have any knowledge of oiling the fan at the time. I guess I just cleaned it out and turned it to see if I could make it run better. Then I put it back together, and then the same symptoms started happening, and got more and more frustrated. And then the struggling began. I would shake the fan. I would slap the motor. And it got to my anger kind of summoned to the point where I just manhandled it to the point where one of its blades broke in half. I just left it in the basement for a while with a broken blade, and then I brought it back up to my bedroom, and I taped the blade back together, put it in my closet, and ran the fan in my closet. I guess ventilation for projects is what I was doing, but I mean, it never ran the same. And one night, whenever it was summertime, and this fan was on my bedroom furniture, running, making racket. I had manhandled the fan to where the Sears logo came off, the button was detaching. My dad saw this, unplugged the fan and took it out of my bedroom and said, "Hey Sam, you're gonna burn this house down." Then the fan again sat in our basement for a while. And whenever we relocated, houses, we located out in the country of Nyota. I think Dad had a bulldozer come out and have a lot of our trash buried in the back forest, and then the fan got buried with the rest of the trash. And yeah, that was the end of that duration. But to be completely honest with you, I've never been the fondest in the world of these plastic bladed, desk fans or plastic translucent bladed, stand fans. I think I kind of like these types of fans too, but I definitely was not, fond of them like I always was, the metal bladed type. But I will say that the fans of this type, all the oscillating fans, the plastic translucent oscillating fans, back then were definitely better than the shit sold at Walmart today and such. I noticed Walmart is selling a piece of shit oscillating desk fan under the brand name of Wexford or whatever. Try, buying one of those fans and see if that fan will top off one of these fans. I think not. This fan does not look like it was meant to be serviced. Even though it's a better quality fan, this fan was probably inferior for its time. I think this motor housing is all one mold. No screws to detach. It ain't in halves. It looks like it's all in one mold. So the only way to service this fan is to figure out how to take it apart from the front there. Probably not gonna use this fan except for videos, but it's definitely, a relic to my childhood, and that's why I purchased it. Let's go ahead. I'll go ahead and show the fan in demonstration. I don't know if you can make it out, but I'll show you the model number of this fan. I don't know if you can make it out, but in case you can make it out, there's the model number. Just pause your camera. This is a very rare model, as I may have said. I've seen lots of vintage fans on YouTube, but never a vintage fan identical to my childhood fan. And definitely got to be careful with these translucent bladed fans because the blades are kind of brittle and can definitely break with, a hard blow. But here it is in operation. Here's low. I think this fan, has a slower, low speed, than, the fan of my childhood, and definitely is quiet on low. And now let's turn it on high. It does make some din. Can kind of hear the creaking in the motor at first, and fan probably needs its motor oil indeed. And well, it's probably never oil, but other than that, it's in decent condition. I mean, for its age. And now the spin down. I know lots of you, demonstrate, your fans online and demonstrate the power, but my comment to that is you cannot see the air moving unless you have a paper in front of it or something else that has drifting ability. I mean, people will be like, oh, look at the power of my fan, let's watch the airflow, but you cannot see the airflow. You gotta know how to depict it. So let's demonstrate how well the fan, blows my curtain. There's low. Can see the curtain drifting somewhat, now high. Quite a bit of play in my curtains, and camera is causing wagon wheel effect, making the fan look like it's spinning backwards, which is what my bedroom light did. The low speed seems slower than my childhood fan, but the high speed is probably equally as powerful as what I had back then. But definitely a display relic indeed.